Hello there, everyone. My name is Doritos Locos Tacos III, and today I had a really scary and spooky experience with a lost episode that nobody has ever seen or even aired, despite the fact that I shouldn't have been able to see it due to it never being aired to begin with. Like, what the hell? And I promise you all that this is 100% absolutely, unquestionably, hyper-realistically true, and if you don't believe me, then you're a big fat meanie, like SpongeBob's teacher, Mrs. Puff. Anyway, I was an intern at Nick Cartoon Disney Studios, and my job was to watch brand new cartoons and other boring crap like that because that's what every intern does at Nick at Studios in Creepypasta Land. Apparently, the people at Creepypasta Land also don't seem to realize that internships are actually illegal, and if they don't provide actually something beneficial to the person, then they likely can be sued, working for them. But who cares? Anyway, since I was an intern, I got to view brand new smexy episodes years before they aired. But enough about me. Let's get into the story. I was walking down the street doing my cringe-worthy Fortnite dances in public, thus killing a few individuals by making them spontaneously combust from my hot levels of cringe. Oh yeah, baby, take that cringe. So as I was continuing to dance like some sort of idiotic dunce in preschool, I came across a garage sale with an old man running it. I decided to walk over to the garage sale and see what in the ever-living tuck they had there because god damn it, I hate my life and I want to die because I ain't got no iPhone. So yeah, I browsed around the area. That really wasn't much of anything there, but a few haunted copies of old video games written in black Sharpie marker. My only weakness. Like Sanic.exe and Ben drowned in the toilet after I gave him a swirly. These games were spoopy, but I made my way over towards the old man and proceeded to do another Fortnite dance in front of him, thus causing him to dance along with me. It was so much fun. We flossed, we Gangnam styled, and we did many other cringe-worthy dances that made a man's eyes pour out hyperrealistic blood, causing him to die of hyperrealistic blood loss. Honestly, what the hell is this story anymore? I don't even know. Anyway, after we danced, the old man threw a blank VHS tape at my head, thus giving me a concussion and landing me in a coma for a couple of days, and then told me that I could have the tape for free because I could finally help his poor old dead soul rest in peace. Turns out that the old man was a ghost, and when I walked, aka Fortnite danced away, I turned my face around only to see that the house and the old man, as well as the Barney the dinosaur plush toy that was taking a dump in a toilet, were gone. I simply shrugged it off as the beginning of a winter cold, despite it being the middle of freaking August, and went home to my mommy and daddy's house. Upon breaking the door down for the 666th time that day, I shoved the VHS into the player violently, so much so that the VHS player grew eyes, started crying hyperrealistic tears, and then proceeded to call the police on me, thus having me arrested for assault and VHS tape battery. After spending nearly 50 years in prison, where I changed my name to Jeff T. Killer, carved a smile into my face using dental floss, and then became an edgelord that made everyone die of cringe once again, I finally managed to get back home and watch the tape. Already in the first few seconds of this spooky tape, I noticed that something was very, 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 very odd. Honestly, is it even really worth that surprising that something wrong already happens in most of these Lost Episode pastas anyway? I mean, come on, most pastas like Max and Ruby 0004 and countless other, our crap already starts hitting the fan already. I mean, come on. Really? When you sit there and you press play, weird stuff already happens. Anyway, after 90 minutes of static, white noise, and various flashes of frames that are likely dead gummy bears with popped out gummy gore, the episode began. It was an episode of Sponge Tom Jerry Bob Gumball Phineas Pants. My favorite show when I was a kid. Honestly, I watch that show all the time. Man, the adventures that Sponge Tom Jeffy Bob would have with his friends Pop Rock and Squidward Tentacle Potato Chips was so awesome! Although my mom actually tried to convince me that it wasn't real, and that I was only watching dead air for years on end like Candle Cove. Maybe that was the reason why I wound up going insane at the end of the story and going into a mental asylum where I would sit there and eat berries for breakfast. Oh, sorry, too far. Anyway, Sponge Tom Jeffy Bob was walking down the street when all of a sudden his eyes became extremely hyper realistic and bloodied. The blood was so realistic that it started to flow down my TV screen and get all over my parents' prized Goodwill rug that they got from the dumpster. It made me so mad that this VHS tape would do that to me, but I was also shivering with fear as I felt every ounce of my body stop working like Windows 95 on a Linux computer. But for some reason, despite the fact that I could, oh, I don't know, turn the damn thing off, I continued watching the episode. Sponge Tom Jeffy Bob was crying hyper-realistic tears of blood because his pet cheeseburger Pickle Rick had committed milkicide because Sponge Tom Jeffy's Bob's avocado toast didn't hit over 110,000 likes on Instagram. I was very confused. Was this episode a hack? Oh wait, wrong creepypasta. Oh yeah. I practically pooped myself with fear at what I was watching. I somersaulted to my TV and tried to turn it off, but instead of turning it off, when I pressed the button, a blueberry muffin popped out of the computer screen. Oh wait, I'm watching this on a TV. Then why did I say computer screen? Oh well, I downloaded this off of Tor anyway, and if I learned anything from that weird shadow guy on YouTube, I know that blueberry muffins were evil. I smashed the muffin into pieces. Hyper-realistic muffin blood and gore splattered the wall behind me and flew back with the force. The last 5 seconds of the muffin was one blueberry eyeball staring up at the ceiling blankly at it before ending. Yes, I did rip that off from a particular Squidward pasta. It's only common sense that every Lost episode pasta that is ever created have at least one rip-off concept to them for them to actually make some form of sense, even though it's not, and it's horrible. So anyway, after that wonderful, smooth, and horrible grammar-based experience, I ripped the cord out of the plug, but the TV still played. Then a hyper-realistic Satan came out of the TV and did a night fort dance that made me poop myself again like Jeffy from SML. The Sponge Tom Jeffy Bob then turned to me and broke the fourth wall as his eyes became giant black holes, literally sucking everything up. It wasn't fun. He started speaking Latin about how I was next and how the world was doomed and that Taco Bell had released the fire sauce and was only for a limited time only. Then the tape popped out of my player and broke into a million little baby pieces because that happens on a carpeted floor. But I noticed something was odd. The tape was no longer blank, but instead had my face on it, burning in an oven with pentagrams, 666s, and spooky demons and skeletons all tormenting me. I screamed like a little girl and pulled up my skirt and started acting like a whiny little baby, and then I wind up taking the tape out in my backyard, took a dump on it, and then smashed it with a hyper-realistic sledgehammer. No, I'm not going to show you any of the footage. Do you really think that I'm that smart to just sit there and actually show and provide proper evidence of my experience, thus actually having people have a reason to believe me? No. You get nothing. You lose! Anyway, after that spooky experience, I called up Nick Cartoon Disney Potato Studios or whatever, and emailed them a message about how I was traumatized, and why this was a very meany thing of them to do, and how I was actually quite allergic to Taco Bell for some reason. This was their response. OMG FL MFL, or raffle, soy. I honestly can't believe you saw that episode. Okay, here's like the spooky truth secret that we all like have. This episode was like never meant to actually be seen. In fact, me and my various buddies all actually made this tape because we were bored and we wanted to get revenge on this random poopy guy who we didn't like. And we just made this stupid tape and like showed it to him and he like exploded into McNuggets. And then, afterwards we all felt particularly bad about him dying suddenly, so we all took the tape out to a desert, pooped all over it, drew a pentagram around it, and then sacrificed it we sacrificed it to Cthulhu and forgot about it. Yeah. Oh well, who the derp cares? Anyway, I'm so sorry, Mr. McChicken. I really am, but we have no idea about any old man who had the tape. In fact, we were actually quite very scared of old people, to be honest with you, because old people are pretty delicious. We eat them. Anyway, we are so sorry, but not really. We're probably not going to do much of anything because we don't really care. Anyway, we have no idea what you're talking about, so thanks again. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and subscribe to this channel. So yeah. Anyway, I'd like to thank you again for watching and yada 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 whatever. I don't care. Love, Mayor McLust episode cheese. Later on, I got a text from my boss at the studio telling me that a few interns had committed milkicide by dousing themselves in milk after watching the episode at 3 a.m. Apparently, it was too spooky for them, and because of this, I was now officially fired. I lost my house, I lost my wife, I lost my kids, I lost my new wave oven, I lost my potato chips, and most importantly, I lost my Sour Patch Kids cereal and ranch-flavored Pop-Tarts. If you ever happen to find this video, then please, for the love of Bob himself and all that is tender and juicy, do not ever watch the episode. Call the police, even though that really wouldn't work. But honestly, that'd be freaking hilarious. I mean, just imagine it. 911, what is your emergency? There's a spooky VHS tape in my house. There's hyper-realistic blood everywhere. Oh my god, send somebody, it's so spooky. Oh my Bob, I need all units on board, cause we got this spooky VHS tape on our hands. Larg, I need all dispatchers at this house at 69 Water Drive. Yeah, that actually would be pretty funny. Anyway, I end with this. I am that VHS tape, and I will haunt you now unless you spread the word about this sexy tape in my YouTube channel. You're next. Or whatever, I don't care. Do what you want. I really don't care. Make sure to subscribe. And then a skeleton popped out. The end. In fear and surprise as your eyes widen, your mouth goes dry with each battered breath. You try to scream, your mind begs to leave, glued to your computer screen. The killers they slash, the tapes burn and crash. The cartridge you bought will be your final haunt. The rituals of hate will seal your fate. The tears you shed will be from the fear-gripping horror-driven nightmarish gore-filled, terrorizing, hateful, burning, violent, rage-inducing, knife-slashing, blood-splattering, silent screams. Only time will tell if you will escape this online hell. Your horror-filled obsessions will come with its own regressions. Your pathetic screams will not be heeded in any way, because your nightmares will come at any day.